welcome to the Be the Light Show. My name is Denise Razonia, and I'm your show host, and I am here at the Wofford Theater in Noblesville, Indiana. I'd like to thank Dr. Beth Niedermeyer for her time today, coming on to talk with us. She is the Superintendent of Noblesville Schools, and also Melissa Baker, who is here to join us from Noblesville High School. Melissa is a senior and has been kind enough to give us some time today to discuss some questions from the student perspective, so we thank them both for being here. Real quick, I'd like to thank our show sponsors. I'd like to thank Jim Wofford, Hamilton County Television, and the Wofford Theater. So to get started, Dr. Niedermeyer, you and I were just speaking a moment ago. You're going into your second year here in Noblesville Schools. Awesome. Well, I know that from a parental standpoint, one of probably the biggest changes that I've seen since you came on board that I absolutely love is just the open communication that you've had with the community. And I absolutely love that and want to thank you for that. And thought maybe we could talk about some of that, like how you're out developing relationships in the community, some of the initiatives that you've been taking part of.
Absolutely. I think developing relationships is one of the most important things when you're trying to get acclimated into a community. Mm-hmm. I really love my table talk. That's a great opportunity for me once a month to meet anyone who wants to come to Noble Coffee and Tea on the second Thursday at 6:30 to ask questions, talk about concerns, any celebrations that they want to share. That's been really good. I like going to the PTO meetings. Mm-hmm. I go to a lot of the city events, lots of athletic and music events that happen in schools. I have lunch at the schools with staff and students. Awesome. So I just try to get out around as much as I can.
That's great. I know that I hadn't had the opportunity to meet our prior superintendent, so I certainly appreciate that. And have you seen Dr. Niedermeyer around your school a bit?
I have, and we did, there was a government program, like the government class was presenting projects, and I was volunteering there as part of National Honor Society, but Dr. Niedermeyer was a judge there, and she did a great job with helping to do that, so
awesome.
I saw you there.
So one of the challenges that I think we're facing in our district, the size of our schools and the concerns that come along with that, I was wondering if you could maybe talk a little bit about how that's being addressed.
Yes, Noblesville Schools and Noblesville community, we're very fortunate to be a vibrant, growing community. We do a lot of planning. We had a demographic study done last year to project for the next 10 years out for what our growth will be. Mm-hmm. And we're planning, we develop plans to accommodate that growth and to continue to look at facilities as well as staffing and programming. So it's an exciting place to be, and we just went over 10,000 students this fall.
Oh wow, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Melissa here for a question.
Okay, fantastic. And just on that, I would like to say we had homecoming this past weekend, and it was interesting because they divide us by grades, and so seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, and usually the seniors are big and dominating, and we still chanted, and it was awesome, but this year the freshmen were outnumbering us, and it was visually obvious, and that's the first year I've noticed that, so It's cool. One of my questions for you was that we're fortunate enough to live in a place where so many of our high school students continue their education after high school, but what are we doing as a school system to help those who want to further their education without college to find a career?
I think that's a really good question. We have a lot of students who have varied interests, and one of the things that we really have focused on, particularly at the high school, is finding a niche for all of those students. And one example of that is our student internship. We have over 200 seniors that are participating in internships, and some of those internships are for students who are looking for careers right out of high school. Others are looking for internships that may require some sort of an apprenticeship or some sort of a 2-year degree, and then some that are looking for apprenticeships that might connect them to a future career that would require a 4-year degree study. So I think what's really exciting is that we are not putting in any limitations. Students have expressed interest. They go to assistant principals and their counselors, and the high school staff have done a great job really pairing students with businesses throughout Noblesville community to find the things that they're passionate about.
Absolutely. And I've interned and I continue to as an intern for the mayor's office at the city of Noblesville, and it's been really cool to see some of the planning and development there. And it's just opened my eyes as a career possibility, or just to see and meet the mayor and meet the people and see what's going on. So that's been really nice.
Well, and this morning I was at a workforce development meeting with the city, and what's so exciting about that is that we're looking for ways, not only just at the high school, but what are some ways that we can incorporate job shadowing at the middle school level, so they're not just waiting till they get to the high school. And then, of course, the soft skills initiative that's going on, that we're starting at the elementary, that's getting kids ready for careers as soon as they're step foot in our doors, which is pretty exciting.
It's awesome.
Is that something that you can talk about a little more, the soft skills?
Yes, the City of Noblesville and the Chamber of Commerce and the schools and all of the businesses have been working on identifying what are those key skills that you need to be successful in life. And things like perseverance and initiative and teamwork and collaboration. And what they've done is they've chosen a skill each month, and we're working on those skills in the schools, K-12, and businesses have posters, so businesses are focusing on them, as well as the city and the governmental offices. So it's pretty neat that this joint effort, everyone's working on the same thing to help get all of our students ready. But also for those of us who are still in the workplace, it's good reminders for us to remember those important skills.
And is that what I've seen, like in the signature lines now and
Yes,
everything?
it
Okay,
is.
Excellent. Great. Did you have any questions on that?
That's the end of that question.
Okay. Well, I know even here at the Wofford Theater, we have 2 interns, which we were just talking about, and they've been a really big help. So we really appreciate that program, and I can't wait to talk more about it here later in the school year when I have Susan Worsema on. We're going to be going to a break here in just a moment, but I didn't know if maybe you could let us know of some contact information for maybe if people needed to reach Noblesville Schools or you, what information you would like them to use.
Sure. They can certainly check our website at www.nobl.k12.in.us, and there's lots of great information on the website.
Okay, great. And if anyone would like to reach me, my name is Denise Rizonia, and my website is www.denisemrezonia.com. So that's DENISEMREZSONYA. I know it's a mouthful.com. And all of my contact information is up there. We're going to take just a quick break here, and we'll be back in just a moment to continue our conversation with Dr. Niedermeyer and Melissa Baker. Thank you.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
we want to welcome you back to Be the Light. I am Denise Rizonia, your show host, and I have with me today Dr. Beth Niedermeyer, Superintendent of Noblesville Schools, as well as Melissa Baker, Noblesville High School senior, who has been kind enough to give us some of her time today, so we really appreciate that. Thank you both so much for being here. And let's see. When we left off, we had just talked about the internship program, a couple other things we have going on. How about we move into conservation initiatives? I understand that we avoided over $1 million in money saved. That we saved, over $1 million. How did we do that with these conservation initiatives?
We really have focused on ways that we can be mindful of our energy usage, as well as in the past when we were expanding and building new buildings and doing renovations, really looking at green initiatives that would reduce our energy costs. Mm-hmm. So there's been a couple of things. The first has been kind of an education piece for all of our staff to remember how to, just simple things. It's the same kind of things that we talk about at home, turning off lights and unplugging things when we leave, making sure that they're powered down. And then the other piece is just looking at ways that we can really avoid costs by being mindful about how we build our buildings. So it's been pretty impressive that we've been able to avoid that much money and be really fiscally wise for our taxpayers.
Absolutely. And as a taxpayer, I know that I can tell you we sincerely appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So while I was perusing my current, I saw an article closer to the beginning of the school year talking about our performance as a district and how other school districts are visiting us to learn about our success. I was curious if you could tell us more about that.
Yes, Noblesville Schools has been really focused, honored for a lot of the innovative programs that we have going on. So we've had school districts within the state, within our county, and also we had one visit us from Illinois, just to look at the way we're doing our instruction, how we're delivering instruction, and the big focus is on how we're doing the Miller shift, and that's how we're really focusing on how we deliver instruction. For example, in the way that we used to learn, we might have a lot of sitting and a lecture format. Now, what we're really focusing on is getting kids to be more involved in learning, more collaborative, having groups, really encouraging anything that will enhance their thinking, their critical thinking, their problem solving. And so when you go into classrooms today, it looks very different than what it did many years ago. And students are actively engaged. They're experiencing real world problems, and part of the internship is a good piece of that, helping solve problems in the community as part of projects. Excellent. And so it's been really an exciting endeavor to see students being engaged and empowered to make some changes in our community.
Well, and what great exposure for them. And from my understanding, that's starting at the elementary level, correct?
Yes. Yeah. We have several project-based and also Project Lead the Way initiatives that are really focusing on solving those kinds of real-world problems.
And that was instituted, last year, Project Lead the Way?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's a real STEM focus for science, technology, engineering, and math. And again, it's what's so exciting about and why people are coming to visit is that we are one of very few schools in the nation that has Project Lead the Way K-12.
Well, I know my son's really enjoying it. He's come home and told me about, I believe last year it was cars, and I think this year robots that they're working on. So I love the excitement that the kids have for that. So Melissa, you had another question. Did you want to go ahead with that?
Yeah, I would like to touch a little bit on the staff at Noblesville. In my experience, I've had some amazing teachers who continue to serve as mentors to me even outside of the classroom. And I don't know what your involvement is with hiring, but how does Noblesville continue to hire such amazing staff?
That's a great question. We have the high school team. It is responsible for hiring teachers at Noblesville High School. And I think one thing that Noblesville Schools is a real drawing card because people want to be a part of an innovative school district that allows teachers some freedoms and flexibilities to really do some creative, innovative things in the classroom. So for one thing, when we post the jobs, we always have lots of applicants, which makes the pool really rich, and then we can select the cream from that pool. So it's pretty exciting to see the kind of interest that we have in teachers who want to come to Noblesville Schools. So we're really honored about that.
Excellent. Well, I know we had touched a little bit on innovation, and along with that, technology. I know this year we've rolled out iPads to all of 5th grade, and there's also a pilot program at Noble Crossing with the 4th graders. Can you kind of tell us what the plan is with the iPads? I mean, are we planning to get them into all students' hands, or will there be like a...
When in the pilot classrooms now in 4th grade, once they're done, we will monitor that. We will review that, get feedback from the teachers, look at student learning measures, growth measures, and see how they're doing, and make some decisions about future plans.
So what other changes have we made with regard to technology in the classroom, like maybe within this last year or so?
I think the biggest one is just, you mentioned the 5th grade having the iPads, and I think it's important for families to know that technology is a tool. It is not the only thing that we're focusing on. And some instruction we use technology, and some we don't. If it fits and it's appropriate, then we use the technology. But other times it's appropriate to just use more traditional methods.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. I know, like I said again, I have a 5th grader this year, and I really see the excitement and the pride that he has in learning. I will be perfectly frank that as a parent, I was a little nervous about my 5th grader having an iPad, but I've seen so many advantages to it, and I just love the absolute excitement that he has for learning. So I can see that it's been a really great tool.
And I think, too, we've received a lot of positive feedback from our parents on the parent tech nights and all of and on our website we've got many modules that parents can go through to get more information, and it's really important for parents to know what their children are doing so that they can help monitor that, because it's still important for parents to keep a pulse on that.
Yeah, well, and that brings up an excellent point. There are resources on the website that parents can go to. They can work through modules at their own pace, and if you wouldn't mind providing them with that information again.
Yes,
for the website.
The website is www.nobl.k12.in.us.
Great. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break again just a moment here, but I did want to take an opportunity to thank Jim Wofford and Hamilton County Television and the Wofford Theater for sponsoring our show today, and we'll be back with you in just a moment.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
She's good.
Welcome back to Be the Light. My name is Denise Rosonia, and we're filming here in the live in the Wofford Theater. I'd like to thank Dr. Niedermeyer again for her time here today, and Melissa Baker from Noblesville High School. So we have just a few more questions to talk about here. Again, in perusing my current, I saw an article on this new student assessment tool with Northwest Evaluations. What is that?
It is a tool, an assessment tool that replaces a tool that we formerly used called Acuity. And what's so nice about the NWEA is it really adapts for each student. So, for example, as students take tests or answer questions, then if they answer the questions correctly, the questions progressively get more difficult. Okay. If they miss a question, then it'll go to a little bit easier question, and it keeps self-regulating as the student takes the test. So teachers are really getting a good sense of where a student is and what kinds of skills that student needs to work on. Excellent. There are no caps on the test. Most standardized tests have caps, and they cap out. So for your high-end students, they might get a perfect score, and we really don't know how far they can go. So NWEA is a really wonderful tool that will guide and inform teachers' instruction, but parents will love it as well because the parent reports are very comprehensive, and it gives very specifics on what students can work on, and it helps parents and teachers and students set learning goals. Okay. It's amazing.
So is that implemented at any particular time of the year, or?
They take the test 3 times a year. Okay. At the beginning of the year, kind of this year, it was for their benchmark data, and then in the middle of the year and at the end of the year. And it tracks the individual student growth.
Awesome. Okay, great. And so when would the parents expect to receive reporting on that?
They should be getting reports this week.
Okay, great.
If they haven't gotten them already.
Okay, that's fantastic. So the 21st Century Scholars Program, can you tell me what that is?
Yes, the 21st Century Scholars is it's a federal program actually I think it's a state program, but what it is, it's a scholarship program. Students can sign up for it in their 8th grade year, and they have to be in a certain income level. So it's for students who may not have as much in terms of finances. And they have to maintain a certain grade point average throughout and make good choices throughout their senior year. And then they can get a 4-year scholarship to any state university. So it's a wonderful program for students who may need that extra financial support.
So how would they go about getting information on that?
There's information on our website and at the 8th grade level at both of our middle schools, they give out information. The counselors give out information for students.
Fantastic.
I actually have a friend in high school who is a 21st Century Scholar, and she was in my chemistry honors class when I was a sophomore, and she would tell me about it, and it really gave her so much excitement because she was from a house where she would have been a first-generation college student, and she was as bright as the next person and brighter, and it was so awesome because without that, her career would start right after high school, and she would make it work, but I think she was just so excited about her future, especially.
I'm so glad to hear that, Melissa. I've known students who have been very successful in that program, and it's opened a door that wouldn't have otherwise been opened for them. So it's great that there are students like that take advantage of it.
Yeah, what a wonderful opportunity.
It's really cool. I do have one question that's similar with the idea of college. As a senior, college is obviously like a big deal right now. Applications tend to be heavy burdens, especially on student athletes, and take up a lot of our time. Counselors are usually completely booked during school, and it can sometimes take weeks to hear back from them. How can Noblesville High School make it easier for high school seniors to transition to apply for college?
I think college applications, that has been a challenge for many, many years. I think that the most important thing that seniors can do, and really even earlier, start scheduling time. It's all about time management and scheduling time every week that you're going to block out time that you're just going to work on college applications. Counselors are busy, but they're so eager to help students. So I would say make sure when you meet with them that you have some clear ideas of what you want to do so that you can maximize the time with your counselors. But yes, I think you just need to get it scheduled every week, a block out of time that you're going to work on those, because it takes a lot of time.
That's very good advice. I was just wondering if there are any updates on the school start times. I know that there was maybe going to be a change, but we weren't quite sure.
No, last year when we reviewed the start times and we got input from the community, and the decision was made to not change start times, we are going to stick with that, and there's not been any future conversation about it.
Okay. My kids are watching this. I'm so sorry. I know you guys wanted to sleep another hour next year, but I'm going to say yes. Well, great. I really appreciate all this wonderful information. If our parents wanted to get more involved, can you give us some ideas on how they could do that?
Absolutely. There's lots of ways that they can get involved. I would encourage to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And there's always, we've got a wonderful person, Marnie Cook, who keeps us updated on all of the events that are happening throughout the district. It's also important to volunteer. We've got lots of volunteer opportunities for families. Love to have parents come in and volunteer. We have very active PTOs in our school district, so that's another way that parents can get involved. And coming to our board meetings, we focus each month on a school spotlight. So our board meetings are really very interesting. So I would encourage people to come out to our school board meetings.
So anybody can come to a board meeting?
They're all open, public
Great.
events, yes, and we welcome people to come.
Great.
And then the last thing is we oftentimes ask parents and community members for input. And when we send out a survey, we really ask that that's a great opportunity to provide input, because that helps guide some of our future decision making.
Yeah. I know that I've received those surveys quite frequently, and I certainly appreciate you guys checking in with us for feedback. That's very helpful.
And thanks for filling them out.
Oh my gosh, I fill them all out. I love them. So, Melissa, did you have any more questions?
That's pretty much all that I have.
Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So one more time, what was that website that people could go
It
to?
is www.nobl.k12.in.us.
Okay, great. And again, my name is Denise Rizonia, and if you want to reach me, I'm at www.denisemrezonia.com, which is DENISEMREZSONYA.com. And I hope that you'll join us again next week when we have Detective Robert Saxon on the show, who's going to be talking about internet safety, which we kind of went into a little bit here today on some resources. And also Noblesville High School senior Ryland Deere will be in talking from the student perspective on that. So we thank you for your time and hope to see you here again next week.